far away from Iceland, from the wilderness. Guðlaug Brynjólfsdóttir from Iceland will be introducing us to language learning in the wild, which is a really interesting sounding method because it's used real life situations, not necessarily so wild, but anyway. Yeah. And that is a Scandinavian cooperative network, and there are also two Finnish universities, University of Jyväskylä and Jyväskylä of Tampere. Yeah, right. Please. Yes, please. Okay. Could you please use that because it is going to be screened. Yeah. Oh. Sorry. Just a moment. How did it is this one? Yeah, it is this one. Yeah. And this one.
Okay, kära nordiska vänner. This is actually the only thing I know in Scandinavian language, so I will speak in English here. In the beginning, I will introduce to you the ideology about the language learning in the wild, and then I will tell you about the 3 projects we have designed. And in the end, you will see a little bit about what our students say about our projects. So let's start here. What do you see? Yes, you see the wild. And that is sometimes what our students see. You see a beautiful creature, dangerous, but somehow tempting. It would maybe be nice to have an interaction with it, but no. So what do you need to do? You need to prepare, and you need to find out how to cope with this if you're going to dare to go there. And it is here where language learning in the wild finds its concept. And we say that you can survive out there if you prepare yourself. So we have designed a structured program for students to survive in the wild. So where does this come from? Language learning in the wild is a novel educational method with roots in ethnomethodology and conversation analysis. Second language acquisitions focus on language learning. That means that second language learning is a social activity. We believe that. In the classroom and in tasks designed for language learning and in real life situations. So language use outside the classroom is what we want our students to do. And language research show that language use is a condition for language acquisition. Language learning in the wild is a new approach that supports learners to use their own daily life, their interests and experiences for language learning. Interactions in everyday life situations involve a wide variety of people, places, and practices for learning opportunities. Adapting the wild with an unimaginable number of possibilities into a pedagogical structured program gives us purposeful learning. And we have designed pedagogical structures, assignments, and guidelines around target interactions in supporting situated experiential language learning. And the key to successful in the wild learning is to pursue situations, topics, and people in relation to the learner's own biography and interests. And language learning in the wild approach shifts from solely learning in the classroom to using the classroom to reflect upon what was learned outside the classroom through everyday activities. And here you see the Scandinavian Network that is behind this language learning in the wild method. We have been working together for since 2011, 2012 on the project I will introduce to you. These are universities from Scandinavia, 2 universities from Finland, from Iceland, Sweden, and from Denmark. And here in this cooperation, we have specialists in, and researchers, teachers, specialists in communication and design, and also students. And you can see here our webpage, which is actually down now, but will be up soon if you want to know more about what this is. So here are the 3 projects I will introduce to you today: the Icelandic Village, the Varla Course, and Icelandic in the Workplace. The 2 projects, the Icelandic Village and the Varla Course, are mainly taught at the University of Iceland, where I teach. The Icelandic Village is a project for beginners, and the Varla Course is a program for more advanced students. So usually we have those 2 projects in a practical diploma, which consists of 60 ECTs. And the Icelandic Village in the Workplace is for students that, for immigrants that are working at workplaces. So let's start with the Icelandic Village. Here you see the model. So it always starts in the classroom. And you see the classroom over there, it says Kennslustofa, it's in Icelandic. So you learn a little bit also in Icelandic, because then the names are in Icelandic. And you see the Icelandic Village, and you see what it says, heimavinna, which is homework, and raunveruleikinn, that is the wild. So it starts in the classroom, where we prepare our students to go to the village. And the village is a place or places where our students can go to do their daily life stuff, such as buying something or asking for something. And then when they are done there, they go home, do homework, and they do not go to the wild yet, they go to the classroom again. They do not go to the Icelandic Village right away to speak. They go there to research, and that is one of our main things. And students are very happy when we tell them, you don't have to speak right away. You're going to do assignments at the bookshop, the bakery, or whatever, which means they are researching the place, taking pictures, and then they come back to the classroom. So they bring the language into the classroom. And there we try to make sense out of what they saw and what they heard. When they are well prepared, they go to the Icelandic Village and buy things or ask for things. We have made agreements with companies in Reykjavik and the surrounding of where we have our courses. where we train the staff to welcome our students. And for example, now this winter we have 200 students that have been going through this program. So when they come to the place, the staff members know that students are learning, and the staff members have agreed to do 3 things. They have agreed to speak Icelandic, which is actually quite difficult in Iceland. We all tend to speak English when somebody speaks to us with accent or something like that. And number 2, they have allowed our students to record the conversation. And that is one of the most important things in this. They record their conversations. And number 3, and not the least, probably the most important, is they have agreed to be nice. And they have agreed to smile. And here you see participating companies. It's different from a course to course how many participating companies we have, and we have tried many, believe me, during all those years. These companies usually we use usually. It is a bookshop, library, bakery, a restaurant, and a coffee house. And then, of course, our flagship, the elderly citizens' homes, which are our best. And we have many coffee houses, for example, and we have labeled them. You can see our logo, so the student knows when he comes into the coffee house that this is a coffee house which is in the Icelandic Village. And that gives them sort of they feel safe when they say, okay, this is a place which I can buy things and record. And like I said before, they are to record their conversation. Then they come to the classroom and listen to the recordings and share information. And but often before they come to the classroom, they have listened to those recordings at home to hear what was it that I did not understand, what can I ask the teacher about, what did I understand, why did the staff member not understand what I was saying, and so on. And now, for example, after 1 year of this practical diploma, the student has recordings from the beginning of his studies until the end. So it's also nice to hear the progress, both for the student and for the teacher to evaluate and give grades for the performance. And so now you see the Varla Course. And this is for students that have finished the Icelandic Village program and are now more advanced, so let's say A2. And in the end of this course, A2 B1 level. And why Varla Course? Why do we call this the Varla Course? Do you maybe think it's Hakkinen over there? I'm not sure, I don't know him. We call it the Varla Course because we use the rally track metaphor. And what happens on the rally track metaphor is that 2 people are working together, a driver and a co-driver. And that is what we want our students to do, work together. The co-driver has information on the track, and he tells the driver what to do, and he makes his partner, his driver, look good, which is of course very important. So we take this to the interaction, and the driver is the speaker, and the co-driver is the sort of assistance. And before they go into the interaction, they of course prepare. They prepare together. And here you see the model for the Varla Course. Here we have students use their interests. And the interests are the driving force in students' language learning here. But it is the same program as always. What happens before, what happens while, and what happens after. And it is, you don't have to jump into this circle like in the top clockwise, but it's good to start there at least in the beginning. Interact, yes, you interact in the classroom and you sort of analyze that. And then you map up what you're going to do and you make a plan. You rehearse this plan and you observe the rehearsal. Yes, you record this rehearsal and check out how you did. And then you are able to go outside the classroom to have interactions. And so it's here, now you see all kinds of various assignments. And these are the assignments that the Varla Course is made from. This sounds very strange to you, I'm sure. It is at least supposed to sound and look strange to you. And I will show you what this is. So let's start with my Icelandic Network. Of course, our students do not know how to speak the language outside the classroom, where to go. So we have to help them map up places where it is possible to have interactions in Icelandic. So they map up important places, and then they share information about those important places. And this is very important in the beginning of this course, because students say, I don't know where to go, I don't know where to speak Icelandic, and that is of course very understandable. So we have special assignments where they map up possible interaction places. And what we use a lot in this program is the so-called photo journal and scouting. And the photo journal consists of pictures or scouting work where students take pictures of interactions. They are places that they are going to have interactions, and those pictures are of course different. Depends on what the student interest is. And for example, if he's interested in music, he goes to places that he could go to concerts, and he can browse on the internet, and he takes pictures also of possible places to have interactions in concerning his interest. So a photo journal is very good also to use in the classroom for the students to practice sentences and words that are linked to their interests. And then they work with their photo journals, making so-called language journeys, where they map up with pictures like a one-day journey or 1 week journey of where it is possible to have interactions in Icelandic. And they do the so-called one-shot videos where they explain about this language journey. And here we have the so-called the interaction navigator. And here you see where the student lists up everything he does which matters for the interaction. He lists up what he does before the interaction, who he spoke with, where he went to, what he took pictures of, and where he practiced, and what he did. And then comes á meðan, or while. There he lists up who he spoke with, who was with him, how long it took, and key sentences, key questions. And then comes after. There the student lists up what he did after the conversation. Did he, when he, for example, he listened to the conversation and maybe didn't understand, so he had to ask the teacher to explain, and maybe he rehearsed some of the sentences again, or spoke with someone else and reflected on this in the classroom. And so after each course, we make surveys on what students think about this way of learning a language. And I decided to take the most negative one. At least the student thinks he is very negative here, but we are actually quite happy with this. This is what we are trying to do in our work. So the teacher should be more in a role of a teacher and actually teach new things instead of being the moderator of assignments, where basically everything is done by the student in a kind of self-study. Yes, we are very happy with this. And because we are not only teaching the language, we are teaching methods to learn a language. Because when our courses are over, when they are done, students can keep on learning the language by using these methods. So I'm going to show you also, we did interviews last spring. We did interviews with students that had completed one school year, autumn semester with the Icelandic Village, and spring semester with the Varla Course. And let's hope this works.
The biggest advantage of this course is that we, instead of just focus like the traditional learning way, sitting in the class and teacher say and we follow, we are allowed to engage into different topics. For example, like our daily life, or the topics that we are interested in. For example, I'm very interested in music and concerts, so we have chance to start with the topic that we are more familiar with. So start with these topics that can help us to learn faster, especially in the topics that we like most.
I would say that the best advantage of this course is that you have a lot of freedom to choose just what you want to talk about, with whom do you want to talk about, and with whom you're working with. I think that's amazing.
The biggest advantage, of course, was also having a good communication with locals, Icelandic people, because they can, learning in a university, in a school, is very formal, rather than speaking with the local people, because what we learn in the school, there are some words that we don't know, that the local people are using.
For me, it's been more of realizing that learning a language is going out of your comfort zone. So you have to make that effort. And I've been learning languages like all my life, but until like I haven't tried a method like this one that is like going out of the classroom and talking to people and making that effort and prepare the conversation. that I know that if I will learn next year another language, I will take it that way. Just find like native speakers and do it that way. I think it's useful and
Yeah, I think I agree. Just going outside the comfort zone, and like now, like when I'm just walking down the street with people, I'm speaking Icelandic, and like in language courses, like in school before, it's like you said, you just learn grammar, do exercises, and take an exam. You don't go and actually speak the language.
learn languages, but when I try to apply them in my daily life or just like talk to native, I'm like really shy. I feel embarrassed because my accent or whatever is not good. But I discovered that you don't have to be embarrassed at all. Just because I discovered that people are really supportive when you're trying and you're like, I don't know, this is my first experience like learning language with natives, but so far it's been awesome. Just like seeing people try to help you.
With what I have experienced so far, this method is the best way I have encountered and experienced in learning a second language.
Yeah, so this was our students' voices, but I like to draw your attention to this, that these are university students. And they can read and write, and most of them speak English, like you heard. But before I go to the last project, what we were surprised with when we started to do this in 2011, 2012, when we were having participating companies, it really worried us that it would be difficult to have companies with us in this program. But on the contrary, it was not. It was actually quite easy to get the participating companies. We had prepared a lot of material for the staff members to know before our students arrived. We had put together many sort of rules on what to do and what not to do. They are basically all out of the window now, because the staff changes a lot in these places. And all the guidelines we had prepared and the material, the staff members are not reading it except for maybe a few ones. So like I said before, there are those 3 rules that we like the staff members to follow. And then, of course, we explain to them how important it is to have them with us in this program. So we sort of make the staff members feel strong, big in this project. They are really doing an important thing. They are helping our students to learn the language. And so a few years ago, we started to take this program outside the university with Mimir, the Lifelong Learning Center, which Solborg, my friend here, where she is working. So we wanted to take the process, the language learning process, out of the university and to work with it in workplaces. And it is so nice it was so nice to hear your presentation, because it's actually, we are doing the same thing, and I'm looking forward to learn more about your project. So what we did, we have done many courses with foreigners, with immigrants working at kindergartens. And we have had students that have very little Icelandic, but then also students that have more Icelandic. And in this project, we have, of course, students, and we have mentors, and teachers, of course, the classroom and the kindergarten. And this all works together. Students come 2 times per week to the language course, and the classroom works with the kindergarten. So what the student does at the kindergarten is used in the classroom, and what the student does in the classroom is used at the kindergarten. They told a lot about students that are low level speaking in Norwegian. So I'm just deciding now to speak about, because we have done that too, and it's very similar to their project. So the newest one that we are doing now is a course for women that are working in kindergartens, and we are sort of empowering them. It's an empowering course. They have education, teacher education from their countries. And they have maybe been working and living in Iceland for some years, but they are not allowed to have anything to do with the work with the children at the kindergarten. They are wiping noses, dressing the children, and outside playing with them, when they should be doing more real stuff, like deciding what is the curriculum going to look for this week, and why. Because they know it in their own language. So we are giving them the power to do this. And we call it Icelandic and Empowerment and Strengths at Workplaces. And it's from those 3 projects introduced here. They are like my 3 children, actually. This is what I've been working on for since 2011. And the kindergarten program is actually where my heart sings, to tell you. So here we have some pictures from our work, and we call this a two-directional flow. You see the classroom, and then you see the teacher working in the kindergarten with the mentor and the student. And it is so important for us to find as many places and people as possible for our students to interact with at the working place. We cannot expect our students to do that themselves. We have to do it. And it is our responsibility to engage in this. So we are, in the beginning, the mentors, their assignment was not that much. But now we have had the courage to put more responsibility on the mentor, and we are in constant communication with the mentor, telling them what we are doing in the classroom and how the mentor can help and have conversation and interactions about the topic we had in the classroom. And then we visit, during each course, we visit around 2 times when the course is going on, to see how things are going. And what we think is also very important, we come there and we are speaking with the mentor and we are speaking with the student. The rest of the staff sees what we are doing. And there they learn how to do it also. Because when we leave, when the teacher leaves, staff, and we have actually done surveys about this. The thing is, the rest of the staff members, they do similar things that they saw the teacher do. So it is a lot about learning from watching. Yeah, so how is my time doing? Okay, okay, so it's, I'm not going to read it, just for one quick one. These are directors and mentors voices. And this is fresh, this is very fresh. It's just, we got those results only a few weeks ago, where we asked the mentors and the directors what they thought of the program, and if they saw some progress, and what that was. So, and it really, so they all talk about increased confidence in using the language, because our students, the students I'm talking about now, they understand a lot, but they don't speak that much. So we have to help them gain the confidence to use the language at the workplace. And yeah, so that's all. Thank you.